You now learned how you can display product information by getting that information out of the URL. Now we have a similar problem for adding a product to the cart. We got that add to cart button, but in the end, when posting our data, we also want to know which product to add to the cart. However, here I will send a post request, right? Add to cart sends a post request. And this has one important implication. We can pass data in the request body. This was not possible for a GET request, but for a POST request, you typically use the request body. This is also what we use when adding a product. For adding a product, we have a form, and as I mentioned there when we added this the first time in the course, this automatically gives us a request which puts all the input data and so on into its body. But this only works for posting data. This is not available for getting data. But for posting data, we therefore don't need to add anything to the URL because we can put the information in the post body. So therefore, what we should do on product detail in this form is we should simply pass some important information as part of the post request. So I will add an input here and I will make it of type hidden so that it doesn't really get displayed on the page, but still is encoded in the request that is getting sent. And I will give this a name of product ID. The name is up to you though. And now we also need to store a value here. And that value will be the value that is added to the request for that product ID. And here I'll use EJS again to output product ID because I still want to pass that ID to my backend, so to say, to my Node Express app. But I don't want to use the URL because I do use a post request, so there's no need to use it. You could do it though. You can also add a dynamic segment for post requests. That would work too, but there's no need to do it here. So let's pass that data with that hidden input, and let's now work on the backend on our shop.js file. There we got getCart, but getCart is not the route we're working on right now. We'll use that to display the cart then, but for now I need a post request. So let's add a new route which accepts a post request, still to get to /cart, that doesn't change, but now we need a new controller function. And we'll add one here, maybe near getCart, maybe in front of it or after it, that's up to you. Exports postcart. And there I also will get my request, response, and next function as arguments. And in here, we will now have to retrieve the product ID from the incoming request and then also fetch that product in our database, so in our file, and add it to our cart. We got no cart yet though, so this is also something we'll have to work on. For now, let's simply extract the data as a first step, the prod ID, by accessing request. And now since it's part of the request body, we'll access request body here. And then product ID, because product ID is the name I'm using in my view here on the hidden input. So therefore here, I got this available. I can console log this for the moment. And thereafter, I can simply redirect, maybe to just /cart here. And this will then load the get route. So it will render the cart page. So with that, let's go back to the routes file and let's connect the newly created controller action with the post route there. So post cart should be connected here. And now if you save that and you go back to the details page, and for now only there this button will work, and you click add to cart, I'm on the cart page, and in the console we see that random ID which was generated, that random number being logged. So this is working. Now obviously we're not storing that in a cart right now. And before we work on that, let's actually go back to the product detail page and grab that entire form here and make sure we also use that form in all the places where we also have add to cart buttons. So let's add it on the product list EJS file. Now important, there I also have product ID available. So I also access a product field. So this is working here. And let's add it to index.js, EJS. And there I also have a product object available, which is now important all the time, of course, because I'm accessing product ID here. And since this is exactly equal in all three views, we can also add an include, add to cart EJS, and put that entire code into that include here, and then simply, well, include that include. So instead of having that code here in index EJS, we can use the EJS tag with the minus to add include, and then we go to, well, up one level, and then into includes, and then add to cart. And we use that same code also in the product detail page here, and also in the product list page. So there, I also want to replace this form with my include. Now let's see if that still works. If I now go to products, now we get this error because if you have an include in a for loop or in a loop in general, as we have it here, we're looping through all the products, and then product is a local variable available in that loop only, then an include included in the loop unfortunately doesn't get that variable by default, but you can pass it to that include here. And you can do so by adding a second argument to the include function, where you again pass an object and simply add that variable again. So here, this product is what will be available in the include, and on the right side you include or you add the value you have available in this file. So product in the loop is now passed to product in the include. This of course needs to be done for all our includes, so also in the index EJS file, not for the one in the product detail though, because there it's not inside a loop, so it's available globally and therefore works. And now if we reload here, this works, starting page works, and the details page also still works. And we can go to the cart on all these pages. This is looking good. We're also outputting the ID here, so this is working. Now as a next step, we'll have to work on that cart.